In the freezing winter of 1120, a single shipwreck changed the course of English history forever. When the White Ship sank, taking King Henry I's only male heir to the bottom of the English Channel, the crown was left dangling over an abyss. Henry, desperate to preserve his line, forced his barons to do the unthinkable, swear an oath of fealty to his daughter, the Empress Matilda. But in the 12th century, the idea of a woman sitting on the throne was more than a scandal. It was considered an affront to the natural order. When Henry died in 1135, the oaths were forgotten. Matilda's cousin, Stephen of Blois, raced to Westminster and seized the crown, sparking a period of such total devastation that chroniclers would later say it felt as though Christ and his saints slept. This was the Anarchy. For 19 years, England was a land of fire and blood, torn between a usurper king and a woman who refused to be forgotten. Matilda was not just a princess, she was an empress of the Holy Roman Empire, a woman of iron will and terrifying resolve. She landed in England with a small force and a claim that could not be silenced, turning the country into a patchwork of warring fortresses. The conflict was brutal and personal. In 1141, at the Battle of Lincoln, Matilda's forces actually captured King Stephen, and for a brief moment the path to the throne was clear. She entered London, styling herself the Lady of the English, but her stern, uncompromising nature clashed with the city's demands. A riot drove her out before she could even be crowned. The war shifted back to a grueling stalemate. The most legendary moment of her defiance came during the siege of Oxford Castle. Trapped in a frozen fortress with Stephen's armies closing in, Matilda pulled off one of history's most daring escapes. Under the cover of a blizzard, she and 4 knights wrapped themselves in white cloaks to blend into the snow, lowered themselves down the castle walls, and slipped through the enemy lines on foot across the frozen river. It was a feat of pure survival that cemented her legend. Though the fighting continued for years, Matilda eventually realized that she might never wear the crown herself, but she was a master strategist playing the long game. She shifted her focus from her own reign to that of her son, Henry Plantagenet. Through years of calculated diplomacy and military pressure, she forced a weary King Stephen to sign the Treaty of Wallingford, recognizing Henry as his heir. Matilda eventually retired to Normandy, but she had won the War of Legacies. When Stephen died, her son was crowned Henry II, founding the mighty Plantagenet dynasty that would rule England for over 300 years. Matilda was the queen who never was, yet she is the grandmother of the English monarchy as we know it today. Her story is a testament to the fact that power isn't just about the crown you wear, but the legacy you leave behind. If you want to dive deeper into the bloodlines that shaped our world, hit that follow button and tell us in the comments, do you think Matilda was the rightful queen?